Hold on tight guys, because we're delivering you something really unique. Just a few weeks ago we showed you a wingsuit pilot flying with a base jumper dangling below him by holding to a special handle. Now this time 3 skydivers decided to expand this stunt by adding another wingsuiter to the jump who intercepts a base jumper in flight. This enjoyable trick was recorded in Norway and was performed by Braz Nor, Vincent Cote and Nicholas Scalabrino. Epic guys, absolutely epic. After the beautiful and spectacular World Air Games in Birmingham, Alabama, I'm back home to Toronto to our virtual studio to bring you all the action in the 9th episode of Season 12 of Sports News, the programme that brings together all the most interesting aviation sports worldwide. We're still looking for supporters to our mission, and you can donate to the programme via Patreon. It's simple, and a small donation really allows us to continue working on the next seasons of the programme. So if you want us to stay online, please help. The link is in the description. Okay, let's jump into the news. We've got fresh results from the 21st FAI Gliding European Championships that have finished just a few days ago in the Pošinai city in Lithuania. 82 pilots competed there in 3 classes, club, standard and 15 metres. Let's jump into the summary and results. The competition was thrilling till the very end because pilots were able to fly up to 9 tasks in each class, fighting hard for every metre and speed during the flatline scenery. Only 2 tasks in the standard class were cancelled and 4 additional tasks in total were cancelled due to the weather. In the club class, 3rd place goes to Tom Arscott from Great Britain, 2nd to Thijs Bruns from Holland and 1st to Czech Thomas Suchanek. Bronze medal in the standard class hangs on the neck of Dennis Hybronx from Belgium. 2nd place goes to Lukas Blaskink from Poland and 1st to Jan Ola Nog from Sweden. In the most popular 15 metre class, Sebastian Carver from Poland once again confirmed his domination, winning the gold. 2nd place goes to Lukas Grabowski, also from Poland, and 3rd to Oliver Springer from Germany. Congratulations to you all. Another great event for athletes flying only using the forces of nature is taking place on the Nocci Cucco in Italy right now and will finish on Saturday. The event is mostly taking place in the flying area of Monte Cucco mountains in the Italian province of Umbria, but depending on the weather it can also engage the bordering province of March. 93 pilots are taking part in the championship, representing 14 European and 4 guest nations. The place has hosted over 30 FEI events, including the 12th World Hang Gliding Class 1 Championships in 1999, the Hang Gliding Class 5 and Women's Worlds in 2009, and the 18th FEI World Hang Gliding Class 1 Championships in 2011. While we were closing the episode of this show, 5 tasks have taken place. The longest one was 200 kilometers long. In the overall classification, Alessandro Piana from Italy was in the lead, ahead of Primoz Grecar from Germany and Marco Lorenzi from Italy. Great emotions from the World Games event are still buzzing through my veins, remembering all the best air sports action from the Barber Motorsport Park, a purpose-built pond for swoopers that also had some new rules there as well. So let's head back to Alabama for a few minutes to talk with Eric Moser, Deputy President of the FAI, to speak about the organisation side of such a unique event. Tell me about your day. You've been hanging around, you've been seeing the action. What do you think?
The day has been good. I'm glad you all have been able to fly, and the weather is cooperating. I think we're down about 10 degrees from where we were last weekend, which was brutal. But yeah, the facilities are amazing. You people have done an extraordinary job with getting this sport going and getting this venue up to speed, and I think everybody's pleased.
And we've got the drone racing as well. Did you manage to have a look?
I did. As a matter of fact, I was there most of the day yesterday, even though I made a trip here quickly and we had success. We kind of closed a little later than scheduled, had a few technical glitches. There was some damage, obviously, due to the weather that passed through. But I was able to give out some of the medals to the winners last evening around 2000.
Fantastic. And you come from sailplanes, don't you?
I do, yes. Long time. Since oh my gosh, 50 years.
Oh, 50 years. And Eric, how does the selection go for the World Air Games for air sports? How do they decide which ones we're allowed to do?
So it really, it goes to the host, actually. Right. So it would be, I think, building upon past World Games, the I know that in the Roklaw World Games there was an additional event.
Paragliding, wasn't it?
Of paragliding.
Paramotor.
I'm sorry, no, it was also, what am I trying to say? It was gliding, but it was aerobatics.
Yes.
Which is a big deal, which was a big thing in Poland. Poland
Yes.
obviously has a long history of gliding in their sports. As far as the venues that were the sports that were chosen for here was the local organizers, and I think because they had such a venue available for canopy piloting and the stadium for the drone racing, those were the two sports selected from Air Sports.
We've put the interview with Eric Moser on our Air Sports Promotion YouTube channel, and you can also find their interviews with canopy pilots that participated in the event, as well as more than 200 other interesting interviews with other Air Sports athletes. So what about other upcoming air sports events? Well, there's a big one for paragliders that is about to begin on the 28th of July, the Pals Alques Open 2022. The Vosges Massif is one of the most recording flying sites. Cross-country flights have been done there since the 70s for hang gliding and since the 80s for paragliding. There's about 40 takeoffs in the Vosges Mountains from north to south, operated by a similar number of local clubs. The southern part is 60 kilometers wide and includes the tallest and highest peaks, including the Grand Balloon, the highest peak going to 1,400 meters above sea level. Organisers prepared 120 places on the starting grid, and so far 93 pilots have confirmed their participation, including exotic paragliders from New Zealand, Hong Kong and India. We'll for sure keep our fingers crossed for Andrei Bukin, the only pilot from Ukraine. Go for the win, man. In this part of the show, we're going to focus a bit more on drones. The first news comes from the US, where Nick Strider tries to develop using FPV drones in classic Olympic sports like running, jumping or basketball. Is it a future for athletics to be even more attractive for TV broadcast during the Olympics or championships events? Well, check this out. Drones Champions League is continuing to seek out the best new pilots to join the DCL team in real life by showing their skills during virtual qualifications. The DCL Selection Round 2 starts inside the DCL, the game platform, a week ago. Organisers made also a special show of the new and epic racetrack for newbies called Fortified.
Again taking the right turn through this gate before switching to a left turn and bearing low underneath this pole into a sharp right bend. A straight line drag race.
The Drones Champion League is, after the Drone Racing League, the biggest organisation doing drone racing sporting events. Since the first pandemic lockdown in 2020, it is focusing mainly on virtual flying, allowing pilots from around the world to fight for the win. My second special guest this week is a racing and freestyle quad pilot. Her FPV journey began with tiny whoops in the basement of a local hobby shop where she organised multi-GP weekly winter whoop races. Now she's back home after competing in the drone racing events during the World Games, and we spoke a little bit about the championships and her other activities. Take a look. Tell me about your experience, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm still on cloud 9 from it. This is actually drone racing's first World Games. I don't know if canopy piloting's been in the World Games before.
Yeah, we've had a few.
Yeah, so it was our inaugural year, I suppose. So we had a lot to prove. I think we did a good job. The event was really well organized. There were 21 men and 10 women, so it was great to have a mix. And we raced over 2 days, qualifying the first day, bracket racing the second day. And it was just really amazing seeing like pilots from all over the world, ones that I know from online and haven't gotten to meet in person and actually see them fly. And we raced a bit at night, and that was really cool because all the drones have LEDs on them, and the course was all lit up and you could really follow it pretty well in the evening.
And is it increasing the percentage of women in the sport?
I think so. I'm seeing more females race. In the beginning, there's kind of a few different sides of FPV. There's freestyle flying, because these drones are very different from aerial photography drones. They're not going to just sit and hover for you. Any input you put in or don't put in, the drone's going to react. They're fully manual, so you can flip them and roll them. But yeah, I've seen more women shift from that type of flying to racing now.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine we both started a Discord for women in FPV. So there are, 60 plus people in that group of all ages, down from like 11 up to, 50s. So the nice thing about this sport is that anyone can do it, really.
The interview with Mako Reactor is much longer, and you can watch it all in the full-length YouTube channel. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe there. This is also a good time to remind you about our Patreon account, where you can support us with our mission to provide the best aviation news every week. Check it out in the description below. Advanced air mobility company Air announced that its Air 1 electric vertical takeoff and landing prototype has successfully completed its first series of hover tests. According to the Israel-based Air, its two-seat Air 1 eVTOL design will have a top speed of 155 miles per hour and 110 mile range and be capable of carrying a 441 pound payload. The company estimates the aircraft will have a 0 to 100% charge time of just 1 hour. Now, the company also reported that the aircraft systems functioned as designed and its energy use was as predicted throughout the 2 weeks of testing. Okay, let's move on to our Hall of Fame section. On the 15th of July 1916, William Edward Boeing incorporated the Pacific Aero Products Company to manufacture airplanes. The factory was a former boathouse on the Duwanish River near Seattle, Washington. Less than a year later, the company name was changed to the Boeing Airplane Company. On the 15th of July 1933, Wiley Hardeman Post took off from New York on a solo around-the-world flight. His airplane was a Lockheed Model 5C Vega, and he made the trip with 11 stops over 15,596 miles. He returned to Floyd Bennett Field after 7 days, 18 hours and 49 seconds. On the 16th of July 1957, John Herschel Glenn Jr. took off in a single-engine Voight F-8 Crusader. 3 hours 23 minutes later, he landed after the 2,360-mile route, during which he averaged 725.25 miles per hour. This was the first supersonic transcontinental flight. On the 17th of July 1989, the first Northrop B-2 Spirit bomber aircraft took off from Palmdale, California on its first flight. The top secret stealth bomber prototype landed 1 hour, 52 minutes later, and until this day, it's still the most extraordinary aircraft on the planet. That's it for today. For all our content, you can find us all over social media: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. And by clicking like and share, you're really helping us. The Patreon link in the description for those who want to co-found the project. Well, we really do need your help on that, guys. I'm leaving you today with some stunning shots from the speed flying master, Eric Hinrichsen, who made some hiking adventures in Cottonwood Heights in Utah, and then made a crazy downhill ride. So as always, stay safe and keep your eyes on the skies.